What I'm going to be doing is a screen recording on how I do my research to find new distressed properties here in Hawaii. And this is specific towards each state. So this is specifically for Hawaii and how it's done because each court in each state runs their website a little bit different. So let's go ahead and dig in here. So what we're looking at here is this is my homes list, and you can see we have about 317 potential properties that we want to give a call to, and you can see I'm still looking for a few numbers and some other things, addresses on folks, but we're going to go through and do this together. So first thing I do is just open up a web page. Now let me bring this over, and I'm going to go to the Hawaii State Court, and it's a particular one. I have it here saved. It's the Kokua. So you see it says Judiciary E Court Kokua, and it's courts.state. Here's all that information. And I'm going to open up that for you here. So it's the Hawaii State Judiciary site. You'll notice that over here it says E Kokua. If you happen to just jump onto the Hawaii State Judiciary site, on the side here, sidebar, you have E Court Kokua. You can click that too, and it's going to take you to the same page. So I'll let that load up. What you're going to do is scroll down till you get to here, and you're going to say click here to enter Court Kokua, E Court Kokua. One more date page, and you go ahead and say accept. And because we want to get the biggest net possible of distressed properties, you don't want to just look for them one by one initially. You want to see how many are out there. You go to party search, and you're going to do party ID search. And over here in party ID, you want to put D1, that's District 1, Court 05. And that's the specific title for foreclosures and pre-foreclosures. You go ahead and say search. Takes a minute because it's going to bring up about 5 pages worth. And luckily I do this about once a week, so usually we only have to go through the first page or maybe up to the second page. So we'll see, we have some listings that actually came up. Wow, good. Not as many as usual. Like within a week, I was getting 2 pages worth. This is maybe, let's see, maybe 5 or 6. So we can see the last property that I got was 473. Is that the last one? Yeah, 473. So we're going to look where 473 is. Bam. So everything from here up is brand new. So to take care of work and start to get your stuff in order, what I do is usually I have 2 screens, but since we're doing a screen recording, I just want to show you what I do is put this info in here. So I put all of those numbers in, but for the case of this video, I'll just be putting in 1 so you can see how it's done. From finding to research, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8, 1. Okay, so that is this case right here, Savio versus Jacoby. So I'm gonna click on that case now, and let's just pretend I wrote all of these in, which I'll do later. We're gonna take a look at who the people are, because Jacoby is not enough to go off of, but we can see here that it's Milagros Jacoby, and the plaintiff is an individual. So this is unique. Usually when I'm dealing with an individual, I go ahead into this portion, this tab right here, it's the dockets. It's going to tell me what's going on, whether it's a foreclosure or if it's a civil suit. Usually these are all foreclosures, so it's complaint to mortgage foreclosure. Great. So you can see that all of this has been done so far. Go back to the summary, and what I want is this person's name, and then Richard, Anna. Those are the 3 numbers that I want, or 3 names that I want. So I'll go over here to my owners, and I'll put in Milagros. I hope I'm saying her name right. And let me make this a little bit bigger. Here we go. And then I'll just tap down and get Richard in here. Lee Fagan. And that's presumably spouse, but you never know. So don't assume. You can presume, but don't assume. Fagan. Okay, so those are the three owners. And now, essentially, once you have this information, that's when you switch hats from just an information getter to a detective. And you see, okay, in this, it gives you a hint. This is nice. So it's from the property in question is from the Association of Apartment Owners in of Summer Palace, right? So for me, I write that down in the situation notes. Is that the one? And I go ahead and I'll put AOAO. That's Association of Apartment Owners of Summer Palace. So that's important. If they have that, it helps with the work tremendously because people can own more than one property. So if you can pinpoint exactly where they are, then great. Or if they're not even living in that property anymore, you want to be specific about the one in question. So the first thing I'll do is go look for Summer Palace Apartments in Honolulu. So first things first that I find out, this is in downtown, so 96814. So I can come over here for my area, just so I know where to start looking for the second thing. That's a Honolulu area, and 1848, 48 Kahakai Drive. Now we're gonna be looking for an apartment. So here's part two. So first thing was Google to see where this association's address or the apartment's address is. Next thing I do is I go to the Hawaii tax property tax website, and that's Q Public Schneider. If you type in for the very first time just Honolulu property tax, it'll bring you to this webpage. So then you can put in the address. And for apartments, this is really key. So you don't have to hunt for a long time. So you put in the address and you can see it's popped up right here. And the next thing that I want to do is find one of these owners. So you can scroll through and look for the person one by one, or if you're working on a Mac, you can just do the find feature, and that's Command F, and I'll write in Jacoby, and there we go. All three names, ta-da! So we know it's now 2305, so I want to say apartment 2305, and if I click on this right here, this is what's called the tax key. Click on that, it gives me a little bit more information. As you know, we can look at the assessed value, and that's just a good round number. Don't take that as gospel, but it's a good number to get us into the ballpark of what that property is worth. But this is what I look at next. It's a 1-bedroom. So I type that in here, and you don't have to do it in my format. If something else works better for you, this just works for me. 1 bath. But this information is key. 547 square feet. So I say living. That's indoor. And you'll notice on this one right here, I put land. That's for a home. So I can see the square footage, the whole owned area. So we'll see that we have fee owner, and leasee. Okay. So this one is we'll probably be talking to her. It's a leasehold property. We'll see what's going on there. And all we want is the information. Okay, so now that we have address and bed, bath, area, and name, we go to our third tab up here. And you can use, there's 2 sites that we like to use. One is Search People Free, and the other one is True People Search. So I use Search People Free, and the reason I like them is because they actually give a date for the last time a particular number or address was used. So we're going to look for Milagros first. Jacoby. And here we know she's in Honolulu, or at least the address is in Honolulu and Hawaii. So I say search. So we can see that Milagros is 87 and she has lived at that address. So this is probably the person we're looking for. The address now is in Kapolei, so let's see what's going on. So we go more free details, and that's keyword free. So we see that she's been living here since at least March. So that's at least last month. The last time she was at the other address was in 2009. So interesting. It's just info to keep in the back of your head, because even though these are as accurate as possible, sometimes they're not that. You might get some information mixed up. So just write down what's there. So I have her most current number as 349-7329. Okay. And just for safety, we probably want to have her, not safety, but just for more information, want to get her next number also, and that would be 718-447-7698. Okay. Now, because we have other people on this title, let's go ahead and look them up too. So we'll go for Richard. I'll move this over a little bit. So I'll go Richard Lee Fagan. And same thing, Honolulu, Hawaii. So I'll just hit search. And there he is, 75, and also had that same address. So let's go ahead and look him up. So it looks like he's in Georgia. Great. I'd probably be giving him a call first because he's the fee owner. But, again, we're just looking for information here. So last there in 2003. Perfect. And landline and this number. So we're going to write down all of these numbers because they're all pretty recent. So because these are different people, I'll probably write Milagros here so I know who I'm calling. Go up to this one. And now let's get Richard's number. Now, if you're wondering how to shift in a cell, if you're using numbers and you're on a Mac, it's Option Return. And you can get more into that cell there. Okay, so 678-455-7169. And this is Richard. And 678-771-5877. And last one is 770-887-2447. Okay, oops. And we're going to do one more. So you'll notice that the more that you have of folks that are on title, the more numbers you'll probably get. So that option return is important. Okay. Let's see here. All right, she's in Georgia also. Get her information. And let's see if numbers overlap. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And one different. That's from 2006. So we'll just go with these first two numbers. One thing that I like to do also is in my situation and notes, if they are out of state or if they're not living at that address anymore, I like to put that information into because it shows me the priority of who I want to call. Like this is a person that I definitely want to call right away because they are not in the state anymore. So this is probably a property that they don't want to have, or a situation that they don't want to have anymore. Okay. And got that address, and I'll just say Richard and here. And I'll also put something for Milligros. And I'll just say looks like because it's not a guarantee, but looks like. Okay, so now we're complete, and then the date found today is 4/1/20. Yeah, you don't have to put the 20. We're working off this year, but yeah, and there you go. That's how I go ahead and look for a property. So just to go over it one more time, start with the court, go into the court system, into Kokua. We want to go to party search. We want to go to party ID, put in D1C05. It'll bring up a list of all the most current foreclosures and pre-foreclosures. I'd say 9 out of 10 of these are pre-foreclosures, and then maybe there's one that's what's called a refile. But you'll get that information. Most important thing is just to get that information, and then we can find out more when we speak to the owner. Um, and then you go on to your detective hunt. Google is your friend. First thing is to look up the area. Now, one question might be is, well, what if we have a person that doesn't have an association? What if it's just a home? So let's see if we can find one here. Well, maybe this gentleman here, Melvin. Oh, this one has it. Let's see that one. A lot of people live in apartments. Okay. Well, if there wasn't one there, one thing that you can do is you can go into reverse it. Basically, if there isn't an association and you need to find the location, you can go into search people free and put in the person's name. And again, put it Honolulu, Hawaii, and pop up that information. And it'll give you an address. You notice how their address, one of the addresses that they had was a Hawaii address. So that's what I would start with. I would then, reverse engineer it. I have the address. So now I'd go back into here and I would put that address into the search up there to see if they come up as the owners, and then, go ahead and get my information that way. So it's just nice when you do have the association because you can go straight to Google. If not, go the other way around. Search, then um, to the tax site to make sure that that's them. But that's it in a nutshell. There's always might be a loop or a hiccup here or there, and if you do, please just give me a holler, and I'll help you through that too. But this, for 99% of the properties, is exactly what you need to do, and that's all. You just go through this, wash, rinse, and repeat. Any questions? Give me a call, email me, text me. But hopefully this helps, and hope to see you guys soon. Okay, take care.